Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Akamari channel. Now, I know it has been quite some time since my last upload. I do apologise for that. However, I am slowly coming back into content creation, so be patient with me. I'm going to get some videos for it there very soon. But today is a very special day. You'll probably be seeing this the next day, but today is when the first episode of ReZero Season 4 has dropped. And I've been waiting for this since Season 3 ended. Obviously, Season 3 and Season 4 were meant to be put together into one. They were meant to release at the same time, pretty much. However, they've took a gap and they wanted to put more detail into Season 4 because Season 4 adapts Arc 6. And Arc 6 is a very, fan favourite arc. It's said to be the most... the best arc ReZero has currently given us. I'm only I've only in the light novel, I'm only just started Arc 6. I'm still near the beginning, so the anime, it's all going to be new to me. Anything prior to that, anything before that, I already knew what was going to happen. I just want to see it adapted. I'm still kind of in the beginning of Arc 6, and to be fair, I'm probably going to watch the anime Arc 6 adaptation before I continue my light novel read, so everything's going to be new. I'm excited. I've been spoiled a few times, actually, on future arcs, but I try and block that from memory. But yeah, before we get into the video, I wanted to do this shit in cosplay, man. I bought Natsuki Subaru's tracksuit, and I wanted to wear it for this special day, but it doesn't, apparently it comes tomorrow, or on the 12th. And it's pissing me off because obviously I wanted to make the video the day the episode drops. So we're not going to be doing it in the tracksuit, which I am sad. But next week's episode, I will be in my boy's tracksuit. I've also ordered some clothes that kind of resemble his Arc 6 drip, because my boy is drippy in those clothes. I'm sorry, he is. And obviously, you can't buy the cosplay. You can't buy the actual clothes. You kind of have to, really look at, similar clothing and put it all together yourself, which I've had to do. So we'll see how it turns out. It might not be the best. However, for my first ever cosplay, it has to be as the GOAT, Natsuki Subaru. So, yeah, expect that next week. But alas, obviously, if you've been on the channel for a while, I've covered Season 3. Every time an episode drops, I'd make a little analysis video, my review. Keeping up the tradition with that. Just a little, this is kind of a disclaimer. If you want to skip this, you can to get the actual video. But as a disclaimer, I will be doing this every week again. Where I just watch the episode, I hop on OBS, I record my thoughts, edit it a little, upload it onto YouTube, because I just love ReZero that much, and, I want to talk about it as much as possible. But alas, enough waffling, you've heard enough. Let's get straight into today's episode's contents. The episode begins with the aftermath of Season 3's antics, where the Sin Archbishops of the Witches' Court attacked the city, and as you know, they were pretty ruthless. They showed no mercy. The town's in shambles. However, our heroes saved the day, and it only took Subaru, 3 restarts. Now, obviously I know a lot of people were kind of, I wouldn't say upset, but kind of disappointed he didn't really die too much this season. I feel like everyone was so used to him dying in previous seasons. Season 1, 2, he died quite a lot, and it kind of added to the story's narrative on how he, was able to overcome so many challenges. But in this season, however, I feel like the stakes are higher because he's up against Sin Archbishops, and he died 3 times, and that was pretty much it. He died so many more times previously. But I really feel like it's because everyone's in the city. It's not just the Sin Archbishops and the Witches' Court in the city. There's Reinhardt was in the city, and you know how OP motherfucking Reinhardt is. Do you know what I mean? He is OP. Emilia's camp was there. Crucio's camp was there. Anastasia's camp was there. Everyone was there. Literally, there were so many strong motherfuckers in the city that it kind of makes sense. Subaru had so many kind of, I'm gonna put like a chessboard for it. He had so many pawns. He could have just sent if he really wanted to. That's what he could. Basically, what I'm saying, he could trust. Motherfuckers could handle their own, pretty much, and that's kind of just what happened. And everyone held their own, and yeah, he had to die less. Subaru and the gang are having a meeting where the cliffhanger of the final episode of Season 3 left off, with people forgetting Julius due to the Archbishop of Gluttony. That's right, my boy Julius is getting the Rem treatment now. There's a whole meme that's been around since like Season 2, ever since Rem had her memories stolen and kind of went into this coma-like state. There's been memes just going around ever since saying who's Rem, mainly because this is actually the second time people forgot Rem. Obviously, when they went up against the White Whale, Subaru returned to Roswell's castle, and motherfuckers just did not know who she was anymore. And obviously, it happened a second time, and then it just became a whole fucking meme. And yeah, pretty much, Julius is now kind of getting that treatment. Insane. Anastasia says that there's a sage of wisdom who goes by the name of Shorla the Sage, who may know how to treat the victims of lust and gluttony's effects. But pretty much because the Sin Archbishops and the Witch's Court, since they're not going to openly say how to fix what they've done, they now need to find somebody who may know how to. And since Shorla the Sage is kind of like a knowledgeable person, it seems, she may know how to kind of fix people, turn them back to normal, get their memories back, so on and so forth. Save Julius, save Rem, bring them back, please. But yeah, I just cannot imagine being Julius. Like, it's a whole nother thing entirely if you forgot everyone else. But what's really scary is if you remember people, but they don't remember you. Like, imagine you've seen people on a day-to-day basis. Gluttony just hits you, bro. He hits you with his each your memories, each your name. I think it's just a name actually. He eats your name. You wake up, you remember everything, but then all these motherfuckers that you know are treating you like a stranger. They're acting like, who the fuck is this guy? Nah. That's something I don't think I could handle, you know. Because imagine going every day, hanging around people you used to hang about with, and they just don't know who the fuck you are. Like, everyone, even family, like, it's kind of insane. That's why my boy Julius is a trooper, because, you know, he's still going. My boy, my ghost. I know he embarrassed my boy Subaru back in Season 1, but you know what? He's had so many redemptions, it's insane. Anyway, it's because the Witch's Court will never give the answers on how to fix the victims affected by lust and gluttony. They're going to seek out Shorla the Sage, who was one of the great 3 heroes who travelled the world, who may have the answers instead. Shorla resides in the Pleiades Tower, which is a place not even Reinhardt Van Estrella could reach, and we know how overpowered Reinhardt is. What do you mean he can't reach this place? In this episode, we get to see Mom and Dad and their cute little baby, and they lived happily ever after. The end. Surely that's the end, right? Happily ever after. Anastasia dropped some lore right now to Subaru. Subaru calls her out and says she isn't Anastasia because she's been acting completely out of character, and he's noticed it all this time. Which is where Anastasia drops a bomb and says her name is Echidna. Echidna. Subaru's low-key valid for having the look of shock only PTSD could hit you with, because what the fuck? Turns out this Echidna is an artificial spirit and is not really the exact same Echidna that Subaru knows. This Echidna possesses Anastasia's body from time to time, but because Anastasia is low on magical energy right now, also due to a broken gate, same as Subaru, this is where the artificial spirit Echidna has been able to possess her body and is slowly rewriting her unconsciousness. The real reason Anastasia, or should I say Echidna, suggested the group should go see Shorla the Sage is because Echidna loves Anastasia and doesn't want to have full control over her body. It's not all flowers and roses though, as she says she will do whatever's necessary if it increases the chances of fixing this issue. So, not really an enemy, not really an ally, but I've always said, if there's one thing scarier than an enemy, it's an unexpected force. You know what I mean? It's being with someone that you don't know what the fuck they're gonna do next. Now, I don't know if you guys know about, if any of you watch Classroom of the Elite, but Koenji is like, you know what I mean? He's got so many fucking talents in this class, and he could contribute so much. But this guy just lives by his own rules. And obviously, Classroom of the Elite, it's an anime about they're taking special exams, and each exam has a consequence in a sense that could lead to expulsion, and it's an elite school, and pretty much they all have to put their talents to uses in order to pass each class and rise to class A. Koenji is in the same class as the protagonist and the rest of the class, and you know, everyone's contributing in their own way. Koenji is not. He's a man of talent, but this guy wants to live by his own rules, and the amount of times he's sabotaged his own class is insane. And that's what I mean. There's nothing scarier than, and you know what I mean, somebody that you can't figure out. So they could just do anything on a whim, and you won't be able to. You won't be able to see it coming, and that's exactly what kind of situation I think these guys are in there. You know what I mean? Like, sure, this Echidna could act like an ally for now. You know what I mean? That realistically, their plans are aligned. Like, Subaru wants to take Rem, which I will get to in a second. He wants to take Rem to the Pleiades Tower also to get her memories back. You know what I mean? Their plans are aligned. They both want to reach Shoreland the Sage. However, you know, she will do whatever's possible to not to get Anastasia body back, in a sense. So yeah. Ooh. Listen, I'm still at the start of Arc 6, okay, realistically. This is all going to be new to me, but I have a feeling that, yeah, hopefully this turns out well for these guys. Hopefully this turns out well for these guys, and Anastasia, or should I say Echidna, doesn't betray them in any way. But yeah, let's continue. So because Subaru wants to get Rem her memories back, that's the reason the group have now returned to Roswell Mansion to pick up Rem. And one thing I'm going to be happy about this season is Ram will actually be more present this season. You know, season 2, no, not season 2, season 3, you barely saw her. Obviously, she didn't go to the sea with the rest of the group, but we barely saw her. And Ram's one of my favourite characters, so it'll be kind of nice for her to actually get screen time this season. Ram wasn't the only person the gang need to pick up, however. Before their journey, the Pleiades Tower resides in a massive desert that's full of dangerous Marbeasts. And who's currently under the custody who can control Marbeasts? Yeah, it's Melee, the girl who has control over Marbeasts. Subaru thinks their journey will be less perilous if they don't have to worry about getting jumped by Marbeasts left, right, centre, which is smart, but can she be trusted? Who knows? Subaru and Julius kind of have a little heart-to-heart here, and honestly, I really like this scene because it just shows how like these guys have gone from kind of enemies to friends. Like, obviously Subaru hated this guy with a passion after the humiliation that Julius put him through. And I feel like there was a bit of hatred from Julius's side as well, because obviously Subaru, he was very arrogant in season 1. Obviously, being a knight, it's like a life's work, and Subaru comes out of nowhere, no experience whatsoever, no training. My boy just comes and proclaims that he's a knight, and you know that is kind of it is slanderous. It really is. So, you know, I don't. Julius did not deserve any of the hate. I'm sorry. If anything, he did help Subaru because in that world, I saw this theory. In that world, it's not really a theory. I think it actually is what happens. You couldn't get executed for pulling a stunt that Subaru did. Like, do you see the way every motherfucker stared at that man when he claimed to be a knight? I'm pretty sure they could have been executed, but because Julius stepped in and did a duel instead, embarrassing him, kind of saved his life. And I feel like, you know what? Julius is not a bad fucking guy. Like, yeah, this guy got hate at first, but when you really understand the situations, Julius is the ghost. He really is. But yeah, this scene in particular I really enjoyed because it just shows the kind of development between Subaru and Julius. You know what I mean? They kind of have gone from enemies to like having this kind of bromance in a sense. You know, they are quite close, and it seems Subaru knows how to cheer Julius up, and Julius could know how to cheer Subaru up when the time comes. So it's good development, it's character development, and I just love character development. The final scene of the episode. This scene got me hella emotional. Garfield's mom still doesn't remember Garfield at all, but comforts him like her mother would when he breaks down into tears in her arms. This scene hit because the entirety of season 3, Garfield was seeing his mom multiple times, and she doesn't remember him, and it's not because of like Gluttony's influence or anything. She had an accident and she just forgot. And there's no saving that, but hopefully time. And it is kind of painful because imagine you're seeing your own mom after years and she just doesn't remember who you are. It is insane, it's very upsetting, and honestly, you know, I'm kind of happy that this kind of scene happened as well the way it did, because it is a very emotional scene. Garfield's getting comforted by his mom, who she still doesn't remember who he is. She doesn't know Garfield's her son. However, she's still comforting him like a mother would. And honestly, I really think Garfield needed that. Like, it's kind of his last visit. And, you know, he kind of needed that closure. He really did. He needed that closure and resolve. And I think because of this, he got it. And, you know, this is the best possible outcome in the situation. So it was very emotional. I felt like crying as well. But yeah, pretty much in the scene, he kind of breaks down in his mother's arms. It's very emotional. And, you know, seeing his big smile on his face, my boy deserved that. Garfield deserved that one. And yeah, honestly, that's how the episode ends pretty much. He visits his mom for the last time. And I think he embarks back to the castle. The mansion. Yeah, that's it for the episode. And oh my god, right, time to get into the kind of the final little conclusion, my thoughts and opinions. I really did enjoy this episode. It kind of felt like an extension of season 3 in a sense, kind of just like setting up on things. Obviously we got the scene with Julius, kind of the aftermath of everyone finding out that, oh my god, who's it, you know what I mean, who's this guy, like, oh my god, Julius, no one remembers Julius, what the hell. We kind of got the aftermath of that. We got to see Garfield obviously get some closure with his mother, of course, and we got to see where the season's heading. Obviously Subaru's headed back to the mansion to get Rem. They've gone to get Melee so they can survive the desert and all the Mar beasts. So it's pretty much self-explanatory what the next episode's kind of going to be. They're kind of going to set out for the desert now. And the whole the lore with Anastasia and the artificial spirit echidna. Obviously these two echidnas, they aren't the same at all. Like, this echidna isn't the one that Subaru knows. This echidna is an artificial spirit that's kind of been in Anastasia for 10 years. I recall 10 years. And I think it's whenever Anastasia has used up so much magic, she enters like a sleep state, and that's where Echidna takes over and possesses her body. But this time, in particular, Echidna's got full control of Anastasia's body, and she's slowly like draining the life out of Anastasia, pretty much rewriting her consciousness. But because Echidna loves Anastasia, she doesn't want this to happen, and that's why she also wants to go to the desert. But yeah, honestly, I really did enjoy this episode. I know a lot of people really kind of didn't, because subtitles are a big mess when it comes to Crunchyroll and this anime in particular. Like, they have been fucking up ReZero when it comes to subtitles, so they kind of get it's misinformation. If fans are going to read it, and that's not exactly the context of what it actually is in the light novels in particular. So I totally understand the hype with that. In particular, I think people just wanted to go straight into season like 4, like the desert thing, atmosphere and everything, because obviously this episode just felt like a closing off of season 3. But I feel like we just have to remember season 3 and season 4 were meant to release together. But yeah, that's all for me, ladies and gents. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and tell me down in the comment section down below your thoughts on ReZero coming back, because me in particular, I am excited. My outfit should be coming tomorrow, and I'm so excited to dress up like my boy Subaru Natsuki. Next week I will be in the tracksuit, better believe it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.